Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, while one Mattel property is doing really well in film, with Barbie being released and getting good reviews and looking like it's going to make a lot of money, with I think at least 100 million opening is what it's projected for, Masters Universe is not doing so well, with similar problems, but yeah, apparently it has left Netflix. Apparently it's a money issue. Now, the assumption is Netflix doesn't have any money because of all the stock issues and all that, but apparently their expenditure on content has not actually changed. That was already set and budgeted for, so that didn't affect this, but who knows, for real. But apparently the producers went to Netflix with a budget of, I think, over 200 million, and they said no. They revised it, they came back with a budget of about 180, and they said no. And it looks like negotiations stopped there, that they can't afford to do it, that the world is too big, and to recreate it properly and give it what it deserves, that they can't afford to do it. And I don't understand why they don't just make a film, a big blockbuster film with that sort of budget. I can't see it really failing if they put the money into creating the world. That's what they didn't do with the original He-Man. They didn't create the world, and they kept it very camp and light. And yeah, like if you've seen the original film, you know the issues with it. It's great in some ways, but it's got some flaws in another way. But yeah, so apparently they've already spent like $30 million to develop the film at Sony and Netflix, and most of that was spent at Sony. But yeah, it basically comes down to money. Now, the Nee brothers, I hope they stay involved. I think that's the name of the two directors, because they got what this was. It wasn't silly, it wasn't absurd. They wanted to focus on what was great about it as we saw it as kids, and what we saw for it as kids, how we saw it as kids. And they really seem to get that. Most people seem to be either trying to make it into a serious Lord of the Rings war epic, which would be too dark and depressing and miserable and horrific. Other people saw it as like a parody and a joke, which I think some of the early drafts were too serious, and there was even talks of bringing, ages ago, someone from Earth, from the army, who was going to militarize Eternia, and that was a horrible idea. And then it seemed to be a parody, and they seemed to be having too much fun with it and making a joke out of it. These last guys seem to actually understand, no, we're going to respect what the fans want, that people love these characters. There's meaning behind this character and depth, and that can be done seriously while, you know, creating that fantasy world and all those over-the-top characters. And people are either going to go with it or not. You can't make a serious version of this film that people who don't like Master Universe or can't appreciate that sort of show, or don't have a history with it or appreciation for it, can like it. It's not going to work. You have to make it full-on Master Universe and really do it properly, or just not make it, because trying to do a serious version of it or a parody version of it is, the fans are not going to like it, and new people aren't going to be interested. If you do a really great version, the fans will see it 5 times and probably talk their friends into seeing it a couple of times. That's how it's going to make money. But yeah, apparently it's not going to happen. And of course the writers' strike and the actors' strike and everything wasn't helping, because that would have slowed. Although, you know, they hadn't even accepted a budget yet, so pre-production would have taken forever, so it may not have really... They could have done all that assuming that it would end within time to actually start, so... But yeah, it looks like it's left Netflix, and now they're looking for someone else to do it. And maybe it's for the better, because I'm not sure if Netflix really could have done it justice as a film and as a film series. I'm not sure. I just don't... I never felt Netflix was the right home for it, but I thought as long as it gets made and they've got the money to spend on it, I don't care if it appears on the small screen or the big screen, because as much as I'd love to see Master Universe on the big screen again, properly, you know, most of its life is going to be on my TV, because once you see it, you know, in the cinema, that's a short period of time, and then the rest of its life is on streaming and Blu-ray and DVD and everything anyway. So, yeah, I'm still hopeful. As long as the right people with the right vision make the film in the end, I'm fine. As long as we get some attempt at building the universe, even if we only see pockets of it, because, you know, they can't spend a lot of money, and then if it does well, we get a bigger film for the second film with more of the universe, that's fine as well. As long as they try and do it, as long as they get the basic heart of Master Universe and the depth that actually is there, which people don't give the show or the characters any credit for. But I'm going to go. I've been talking for more than 5 minutes. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Maybe even ding the bell so you actually have a chance of seeing some of my videos. I'm not really upset about it leaving Netflix. I'm not sure Netflix was the right home for it, but I'm also afraid no one else will take it on, because I don't know why they're afraid of it. I just don't think people understand it, and that's the problem. It's so easy. It's such an easy blockbuster to make. I don't understand why it's this difficult, but people don't get it, and they just can't envision it. These guys did, but they couldn't get it done for the money that Netflix was willing to pay for it, because I think Netflix wanted to do it too, but it was about the money. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go.